Did you know that regular MDs can be formatted into HiMD? You did? Well, I wish you'd told us sooner, because I didn't know. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to do it, and some of the results are rather surprising. Let's have a look. For the purpose of this exercise, I have three types of Minidisc. I have a Sony 1GB HiMD. I have a regular or a normal 80-minute Sony Minidisc, and I have an old 74-minute. It's a JVC Minidisc from the 1990s, which has been used a few times. The 80-minute one is a more recent model, and I've never used it. It's blank still. I just unwrapped it just before making this video. Now, obviously, the HiMD is pre-formatted. Well, maybe not obvious, but it is. It's pre-formatted, so it's already HiMD. It's already formatted to use as a HiMD. These two, of course, are normal MDs, and that's what this is all about. Let's find out what happens if we format them. Well, I actually have already tried it because I was very curious and I couldn't wait to do it, and I wanted to have a little practice run. So this JVC 74 minute has already been formatted into HiMD. This one hasn't, this Sony 80 minute. So let's find out. Let's put it in the machine and find out what happens. I'm going to use the Onkyo MD133 HiMD deck. It's one of two HiMD decks that I'm aware of that exist. I have the other one. You can see that in another video. Of course, I'm talking about standalone components. You can look back at my recent videos to see the HiMD mini systems, which I haven't finished making videos about, by the way. I've got some more things to do regarding those. So let's put this on. Let's switch it on. No disc, of course. Let's put it in. I'm not going to edit out the reading time, so you can get an idea of how long it takes to read. I don't know whether this is normal in terms of reading time or whether it's a bit slow because of its age. I'm not really sure. But anyway, there we are. It's showing blank disc because it hasn't been used yet. If I press the display button, it's going to show you... Right, there we are. It's going to show you how many minutes remaining, and it's an, as I said, it's an 80-minute disc, and they've given us, by the look of it, an additional 59 seconds. How very generous. So they've squeezed 80 minutes and 59 seconds onto this mini disc. Now, as I said, it's normal. It's a regular disc. I'm going to format it into HiMD. So bear in mind, it's 80 minutes or 80 minutes and 59 seconds. Let's see what happens. Now, to do that, you need to press this button here, and then you can toggle between the various functions. I'm not sure if how well you can see that. I'm trying to focus on it. So there we are. So you can turn it either way and it toggles between the various functions. Disc format, yeah, let's do that. So you press yes. HiMD format, that's the one we want. Format okay, it's very cautious, this one. Well, that was quick, very quick indeed. So there we are. So it's changed how many minutes available for recording. So in the HiMD format on a regular 80-minute disc, it has 28 minutes and 30 seconds. Bear in mind that the HiMD format records in PCM. That's the same format as a compact disc. Now, if I press the record mode, so now we've got HiMD SP short play, HiMD short play mode. That has given us 143 minutes and 5 seconds. Quite impressive, because a regular MD in short play mode, well, this one is 80 minutes and 59 seconds. So putting it into HiMD format and then into short play mode, that's the regular compression, you get a lot more time than if you had it in the regular format. So why is that? One reason is because the compression rate's a bit different, and I'll go through the facts and figures of that shortly. Just going to show you what happens with the other MDs as well. So if I select HiMD long play, we've got 615 minutes and 18 seconds. That's phenomenal. That's absolutely amazing. Imagine how much music you could fit on that. Of course, you're not going to get a high quality sound on that, not by any means, and you may not actually enjoy listening to music. I don't know. I mean, some people don't mind. It might be alright as background music for, say, a shop or an office or something, but it's not going to be for serious listening. As I said, I'll go through the various technical specifications of these shortly, so just keep watching. Back to, there we are, HiMD PCM. Did you see that? It actually showed us its PCM. Right, let's take this out and compare it with the others. So, oh, it's writing to the table of contents, the TOC, the table of contents. I suppose it has to write that it has been formatted to HiMD. I guess that's what it's doing. If you know better, let us know in the comments. It's taking its time, isn't it? It really is taking its time. I'm not going to edit this out so you can see how long it took. Right, there we are, at last. Doesn't mean I'm not going to edit at all. There might be a few quirky edits, but anyway. So if we put the 1 GB HiMD, which is pre-formatted, as I said, if you can hear that in the background, that means it's 5 o'clock. They have like a PA system throughout the streets in Japan, and they play little jingles at certain times, such as 12 o'clock, and it's 5 o'clock this time of year. It varies according to the time of year, the one in the evening. So it's showing blank. Let's see how many minutes we get. So in HiMD mode on a 1 GB mini disc, we get 94 minutes and 55 seconds. If I change that to short play mode, we've got 476 minutes 30 seconds. Now this is interesting. I actually tried this earlier. If you wanted to see how many minutes are available in long play, HiMD long play on a 1 GB disc, it's off the scale. Now I did look it up, and the original press release quotes figures such as like amazing figures like 45 hours of music play or something like, or of available space or something like that. But it's off the scale for this machine anyway. I don't know whether there are machines. I mean, I find it a bit odd because if you think about it, it is a HiMD deck, so it's obviously supposed to show us all the relevant information, and it's a HiMD deck that can record and play in HiMD long play on a 1 GB disc. So I find that quite odd that it doesn't tell us how many minutes are available. Back to PCM. So remember, PCM is the same format as a compact disc, so you're actually getting more space in PCM mode than on a CD, which I also find rather interesting because you know, it's a tiny little disc, isn't it? It's a lot smaller than a CD, so very interesting indeed. Let's try the 74 minute. This is an old one from the 90s, as I said. It's a JVC 74 minute. I've already formatted it to HiMD. And I'm not going to edit out the reading time, because I think this is also a comparison. In fact, I'll watch it back later myself and hopefully won't find any bloopers in it where I've accidentally done some dodgy editing. Right, so there we are. So the 74 minute normal mode in HiMD mode has got 26 minutes 23 seconds. If I change that to HiMD short play, we've got 132 minutes 26 seconds. HiMD long play, we've got 569 minutes 31 seconds. There we are. Time to look at the statistics, the specifications, etc. I said I'd give you some technical data. Here it is. I'm looking down at my iPad, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. And I've got the statistics, the specifications, whatever you want to call it here. So for HiMD, linear PCM, which is a non-compressed digital format, the same as a CD, the bitrate is 1411 kilobits per second, and the HiMD short play mode uses a format called ATRAC 3 Plus. ATRAC 3 Plus compresses at 256 kilobits per second in short play mode, and in long play mode ATRAC 3 Plus compresses at 64 kilobits per second. That's a massive difference. So for a regular, that's a normal mini disc in short play mode, the compression rate is 292 kilobits per second. So LP2 for a normal MD is 132 kilobits per second, and LP4 is 66 kilobits per second. So if you're interested in the progression of ATRAC versions, there was ATRAC 1 in 1993. Well, actually Minidisc possibly was released in 92 in terms of when it was announced, when it was launched at some sort of tech show or something, I think. But ATRAC 2 came out in 94, ATRAC 3 in 95, ATRAC 3.5 in 96, ATRAC 4 in 96 as well, ATRAC 4.5 in 97, and then Type R in 98. So Type R is really the evolution of the very first ATRAC version 1 of 93, and Type R is the version that is really the best one. It's good enough for everybody, and obviously I say that, but depending on the hardware you're using, depending on the gear you're using, that will of course vary. Type S was designed to improve upon long play. That's long play 2 and long play 4. And ATRAC 3 Plus, as I've mentioned, was designed especially for HiMD. Now, just remember that HiMD uses linear PCM, so it is a non-compressed format. ATRAC 3 Plus is for the compressed format when recording in HiMD short play and long play. I hope that has been informative, and catch you in the next video.